Tune into Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad.
On the second day of the second cricket test between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, in reply to Bangladesh's first innings score of 247, were 290 for the loss of 2 wickets. At close of play today, they now lead by 43 runs with opening batsman Pathum Nissanka still at the crease with 146, along with nightwatchman Prabath Jayasuriya, who is unbeaten on 5. A late wicket to deny Dinesh Chandimal would give Bangladesh some respite. But it has firmly been Sri Lanka's day. After getting Bangladesh out for just 27 runs in the morning, Sri Lanka were off to a rapid start. Once Taijul and Mehidy gave Bangladesh some control, Nissanka and Udara also became watchful for an 88 runs opening wicket partnership. Taijul Islam broke that stand, but then it was all about Nissanka and Chandimal. Nissanka notched up his second century in as many games, and Chandimal looked like he would get a century of his own, only to be undone trying to reverse sweep late in the day to fall for 93. Their 194-run stand put Sri Lanka in the lead, one they will look to grow tomorrow. Nissanka will resume on 146 on a pitch that on day 2 looked much better to bat on than on first day. It has been an absolute clinic from him. He has looked chanceless, starting off with a back foot cover drive for 4 off the first ball and reaching his century in similar fashion. It's a slightly early start tomorrow as well. Earlier, Bangladesh resumed their first inning at the overnight score of 220 for the loss of 8 wickets, with Taijul Islam batting on 9 along with Ebadot Hossain, who is batting on 5. But Bangladesh were all out for 247. They lost their ninth and first wicket of the day, adding just 9 runs to their overnight total of 220. And at 229, they lost their ninth wicket. Ebadot Hossain was the ninth man to go in the 75th over, and he was legged before by Fernando. He made 8 runs, while the 10th and final wicket fell at 247 in the 80th over, and Taijul Islam was the last man to go. He made 33 of 60 balls, hitting 5 fours, and he was caught by Dinesh Chandimal off the bowling of Dinesh. So Bangladesh in their first inning were all out for 247. They batted for 79.3 overs and they scored their runs at 3.10 runs per over, with 4 of their batsmen getting to 30s but could not capitalize on the start. Yes, Mushfiqur Rahim 35, Litton Das 34, Mehidy and Miraz 31, and Taijul Islam 35, while Naeemul Hasan 25 and Mominul Haq with 21 runs were the other significant scorer. In every format of cricket, partnership does matter, and for Bangladesh, they put on 38 for the second, 31 for the third, and then they put on 67 runs for the fifth wicket, the only significant partnership between Mushfiqur Rahim and Litton Das. Mushfiqur Rahim 32 and Litton Das contributed 34 in that partnership. Then 37 runs, 7th wicket partnership between Mehidy and Miraz and Naeemul Hasan. Yes, Mehidy and Miraz 19 and Naeemul Hasan contributed 17 in that partnership. The 8th wicket 17 and the 9th wicket also 15 runs, while the 10th and final wicket contributed 18 runs. 3 wickets each for Ashita Fernando and Sonal Dinushu, while 2 wickets for Vishwa Fernando and 1 each by Tharindu Ratnaike and Dhananjaya De Silva. Ashita Fernando, 18 overs 2 maiden, 51 runs and 3 wicket. Vishwa Fernando, 19 overs 4 maiden, 45 runs and 2 wicket. Tharindu Ratnaike, 17 overs 1 maiden, 72 runs and 1 wicket. Prabath Jayasuriya, 11 overs 36 runs and no wicket, while Dhananjaya De Silva 5 overs for 15 runs and 1 wicket, and Sonal Dinushu, the debutant, 9.3 overs 3 maiden, 22 runs and 3 wickets. After bowling out Bangladesh for 247, Sri Lanka's start was brilliant. They put on 88 for the first wicket between Lahiru Udara and Pathum Nissanka. Lahiru Udara scored 40 in that partnership and Nissanka 47. and they lost their first wicket at 88 in the 24th over. And Lahiru Udara was the first to go, and he was legged before by Taijul Islam. He made 40 of 65 balls, hitting 4 fours. And then the second wicket at 282. In the dying moments of the day, in the 76th over, they lost their second wicket, and Dinesh Chandimal fell 7 runs short of his century. He made 93 of 153 balls, hitting 10 fours and 1 6, caught by wicketkeeper Liton Das of the bowling of Naeem Hasan. This second wicket partnership put on 194 of 311 balls between Dinesh Chandimal and Nissanka. Chandimal 93 and Nissanka contributed 96 in that partnership. And at close of play, Sri Lanka were 290 for the loss of 2 wickets. They now lead by 43 runs, with Pathum Nissanka unbeaten on 146, along with Prabath Jayasuriya, the night watchman, with 5 still at the crease. Looking at the Bangladesh bowling, Ebadot Hossain 9 overs 33 runs no wicket. Taijul Islam marathon spell 32 overs 2 made 90 runs and 1 wicket. Rana 12 overs 1 made in 54 runs and no wicket. Mehidy and Miraz 16 overs 1 made in 57 runs and no wicket. Naeem Hasan 8 overs 2 made in 45 runs and 1 wicket, while Mominul Haq 1 over and gave away 7 runs. Pathum Nissanka an unbeaten 146, and veteran Dinesh Chandimal with 93 runs put Sri Lanka in control. The hosts were 43 runs ahead with 8 wickets in hand after day 2. On a surface that Bangladesh batsman had laboured on day earlier, Sri Lanka's batsman made hay as a 194-run second wicket stand between Pathum Nissanka and Dinesh Chandimal took the host to a 43-run lead at stumps on day 2. At close, night watchman Prabath Jayasuriya was in the middle to keep Nissanka unbeaten on 146 company. As light began to fade quickly, Jayasuriya had survived a few nervy moments, including a leg before review late, but Sri Lanka went home the happier of the two sides. Chandimal fell 93 late in the final session, agonizingly short of 17 Test 100, attempting a reverse sweep, giving Bangladesh some consolation. The only other wicket had been Lahiru Udara, who had made a meaningful 40 during an 88-run opening stand before being trapped leg before shortly after lunch. In between those 2 wickets, though, Nissanka was the headline act of another day of Sri Lankan dominance, with Bangladesh final 2 wickets picked up inside the first hour of play in the morning session. Sri Lanka would have been wary of not succumbing to the same pitfalls that befell the Bangladesh batsmen, particularly on a wicket that was turning out to not be as batsman friendly as first assumed. But from the first delivery, he faced back foot punch through the covers for 4. Nissanka set the tone and showed that he and the rest of the Lankan batsmen would not be afraid to pounce on any errors. As it turned out, there was a fair few of those in the first 10 overs of Sri Lankan innings.
Keep on watching Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad for latest news, views, and interviews of sports personalities from around the world.